Hello and welcome to Warframe. My name's Todd, also known as meager, and this is of course a Warframe. Last time we did a little bit of farming for some materials and found our way into the void. Finally got some of the materials for Rhino, which is a frame we've been trying to build for some time. After going through some other trials and tribulations, mainly what I said in the previous video, I went to Roche and I effectively completed Roche 3 times while making sure to look out for any plastids. I did manage to get enough plastids so we could build these systems, and I went ahead and just started it so we could have it for this week. Effectively, the Rhino systems had the same amount of time required to build as everything else that we'd built up to this point, but I wanted to hold off on building the Rhino himself so you could see that it takes some time to get all that stuff done. So we'll take those, and we'll also take our clan key, because our clan key is finished. And we'll check out our clan dojo here in a minute, but we're going to start by starting up Rhino. Now we only have to wait 2 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 53 seconds, and counting, till we have Rhino. So by the time we start up the next video, we should have Rhino, and we should be ready to rock and roll and actually be tanky. Volt is very good, but he's definitely not the tankiest frame out there. So this time around I planned on going into the clan dojo and checking that out, and also, if we have time, knocking out some bosses. But let's start with the clan dojo. So, I guess, actually, before I do the clan dojo, I should talk about some minor things. In the week period between these videos, there was an update to Warframe, which was which was a big hot fix. They're also having an event currently where you can earn double credits by doing missions, just for this weekend, or from September 7th to September 10th. And that was the major things that had happened. So not super important. They're also doing a ghoul purge currently on the plains. I feel like I've talked about that in the past. It's just effectively the normal bounties, but there's ghouls as the main objective instead of the normal objectives. There's some good mods you can get from that event, the ghoul purge, if you've never done it. So make sure you check that out. The Purist project is still going on, but we're still not really in a place where we can deal with that because we don't have Rhino just yet. But let's check out our clan that we built, and let's go into our clan dojo for the first time. You know, I've never seen what one of these looks like if you've never built anything onto it, so this will be... oh, okay. So, starting out, it is just a single room. Boy. I hope you weren't expecting a whole lot, because there's nothing here. Yeah, so effectively now we can build onto this place and build some other stuff. There's tons of different things we can build. Oh my jeebus. Let's see. We probably want to start with a grand hall of some sort so we can have a nice like entrance room. What is the best one? I know that there's one room that I really like for entrances, but there's just so many different things, and to build them you have to have all these materials. And let's see, I don't think we can actually build any of them because we don't have any formos. Okay, so we can't build anything right now because we don't have any formos, nor do we have any nanospores really, but as soon as we're able to, we'll be able to build on and build some rooms. It takes 12 hours to build a room. And of course you can add in decorations. Some of the rooms take more time depending on what they are. So labs, the main thing that you'll want to build if you start building your own clan is definitely labs. So the bio lab, the chem lab, the energy lab, and the Orkin lab I think is one as well, but I'm not positive on that. But you definitely want the Tenno lab. The Tenno lab is amazing. And if you're trying to get people, if you're trying to recruit people, the labs are the main thing that people will want to join your clan for. Aside from that, let's see. There was one type of room which was very beneficial, and I don't remember what it is for like a main hall. Let's see. I guess a barracks would be right. Dueling room, greater hall. So a lot of these rooms do different things. There's a lot of just aesthetic rooms, such as like the water gardens and grand halls and things like that. Those are just mainly aesthetic groups. I guess the grandest hall would probably be the one we'd want to go for, because the capacity is very large. There's lots of things we can put into there. So we'll probably start with a room like that, then we'll make... Because overall, the cost of the two between each other, Grand Hall versus Grandest Hall, is nothing. It's just how big of a room you get. I like the Grandest Hall because it has this upper level right here, which is very beneficial, I think. You can, of course, make elevators, things to make multiple levels, different hallways. So we'll probably start with trying to make a Grandest Hall, and then maybe a hallway outside of it. Maybe just like a straight hallway outside of it, so we can then make the labs. Overall, there's not really anything we can do because we don't have any formas, and this is all we've got. A single room. I think this is just the basic clan hallway, or like a clan, what do they refer to them as? Grand Clan Hall, just a basic clan hall. I believe it's Great Hall, that's what it is. I believe this is just the basic Great Hall. So, well, we'll worry about that when we start getting formas. Formas will be something that you'll be able to get once you start doing enough rifts, and we will get to that point eventually. Now, I can't say that we'll actually be able to build a whole lot onto this clan, aside from maybe a couple rooms in the labs, but we'll see how that goes. For now, that's pretty much all we can do in our dojo. But you can enter this place, you can customize it to however you want. There's tons of stuff you can do with a dojo. I just mean tons. You can decorate it with stuff, so if you wanted to get like people together and have them donate, you can customize all that in your ranks. So when you go into your clan interface and clan management, if we edit the hierarchies, so the major thing being is that the higher ranks have the architect, which allows them to begin construction, deconstruction, just do a whole bunch of stuff with rooms. Let's see. Architect is like one of the last things we want people to have. Sage, leader, officer, general. That's fine. The ranks are fine as they are at the moment. The major thing being is that architect is definitely something you don't want to give to new members of any sort of clan, because that allows them to change the entirety of your dojo, and that can definitely cause some problems if you didn't want that person to mess around with stuff. But for now, we're not going to worry about editing that because we're the only person in our clan, and I was hoping we'd actually be able to do some stuff in our dojo, but we really can't. So I guess we'll just head towards defeating some bosses. Let's see.
I will attempt to bypass this vault.
Is there any upgrades I can make to my character at the moment? I don't think so. I'm going to throw that in just for giggles for the moment. Boltor, I'm pretty sure that's upgraded as it can be because we don't have any mods. My Lado's got Hornet Strike on it, so we can throw in the better Hornet Strike. It's always good to, in my eyes, to keep a spare unupgraded version of a mod. Just because of this reason here, for capacity sake, you can save it and use it on
armaments, operator. Please return
mods that do, or weapons that do not have as much capacity. So that's definitely something worthwhile to have around. Alright, well, we're as upgraded as we're going to be. This time around, we're going to tackle some missions and bosses in public parties. Lex Krill was kind of a nightmare trying to deal with that and whatnot. So let's just jump straight in to Monolith, and we'll do Iliad and War. So Iliad has the boss known as the Sergeant. He's just like a corpus soldier. I don't think there's anything special about the Sergeant. At least not from what I remember. Skip that. Alright.
There is a prisoner here that is vital to our operations. Search for the holding location.
feel like I just saw a corpus around there, but I guess I did not. That's why I stood out of the elevator there for a second. Nothing major here. Just gonna run around these guys. As I stated before, never use the elevator.
There's no telling what the captors are doing to our rescue target. You need to find the holding cell immediately.
I can pretty much bet it's gonna come down here. Yep. So these waypoints sometimes get caught up on things. When you get the hang of it, you'll kind of understand where those waypoints will probably point you towards. It's just something that you'll learn from experience. Right now, that room in particular with the multiple levels, the waypoint tends to get stuck on it. Effectively, just avoid the elevators, go across, you should be fine. Okay. Dealing with these guys. So I don't know if I've talked about Corpus Techs at all. Corpus Techs are definitely one of the most annoying Corpus enemies that you can run across. They're the very tall guys, right there. And they summon drones, but the main thing being is that unlike all the other Corpus units, they actually have a lot of life. So they can be somewhat problematic if you've tailored your weapons to the Corpus.
Approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence.
Alright, just for giggles, because I don't want to be detected right away if I'm able to, I'm going to turn off the alarms to deal with this tech. Alright. I would like to do the rescue a little bit stealthy. Oh, operative. Hack on under
Alarms have been
terminals.
reset.
Just so we can hopefully get in, get out without
The
any
bypass
problems.
is done. Go.
I don't know if I'm going to be that lucky, but we'll see. Should be noted that wardens are extremely susceptible to being stabbed in the back. They... Oh dear. Triggered this one. I don't think I can... Yeah. That's unfortunate. I was trying to avoid that, because this in particular is a very annoying room. With all the turrets and everything, and the laser grids.
Find our prisoner in one of these cells.
I'm gonna use a cipher. Oh, that's not good. I'm getting shot to pieces. Oh, you telling me my cipher didn't go off? That's super unfortunate. I don't know how that camera sees me. I think we may fail this if I don't use some ciphers here. Okay, dude. Chill out for a minute. My cipher got used but didn't open the gate. That's great. Come on, go. Let's just pop some ciphers. Usually I would not recommend this, but I'm running out of time. I'm afraid I'm going to get shot in the back if I take too long.
I will not forget this, Tenno.
Prisoner located. We need to get them back to command in one piece.
It's all this dude's fault.
Exits, and
That
don't leave
jerk.
the subject behind.
If it wasn't for that guy, that would have been so much
I
easier.
need a weapon.
I could give him a weapon. Yeah, sure. Here, have a pistol.
We've been locked out.
Just to kind of show what happens when you give them a weapon. They just use it pretty much as you'd use a weapon, of course. Or as any Spectre would. It's not necessarily pointless, but it does take away from your ability to fight. Though I'm not sure, I think it also changes the way they interact with enemies.
Override complete. Move on.
They will be more brazen, and I believe I've brought that up in the past. Let's just... I was going to say ignore all these guys, but you know, I really can't do that because there's just too many of them. My guy's going to die. Okay, so up into the vents then. we're just gonna solid snake our way out of here. Shock all those guys. I'm lucky these guys are Corpus. If this was Grenier, I'm pretty sure I'd be boned right now. In the future, I might have to switch to using more powerful weapons because currently we're not performing super great. Our weapons just aren't doing a whole lot of damage. I may have to do some more farming outside of missions so we can get enough stuff so we can upgrade our weapons. And I am all out of ammo now. Okay, it's just going to be a slugfest throughout here. But we're going to deal with it. Okay. In and out. That was definitely not the best. We definitely could have performed a little bit better there. Didn't do super great. We're kind of falling behind just because of the fact that we're not doing a lot of farming on some of the nodes. We're not unlocking a lot of stuff. So it does become a little bit of a problem where our gear's just not up to par. It would be really nice if we had some better weapons. The Boltor is good if you can upgrade it, but currently unupgraded it's not very good. I would definitely love to get my hands on a Vectis, but we definitely don't have enough stuff for that. The nanospores are the big thing that we won't have for some time. I could make the Galantine finally. The Galantine is a very good weapon. It does a lot of damage. You know what? I'm gonna make the Galantine. It might not be the best choice right off the bat, but we're gonna make it because the Galantine tends to be a very good weapon. And you can get a stance for heavy blades pretty early on. So hopefully we'll run across the stance at some point, which will make that a lot easier to use melee weapons. Melee weapons without stances tend to be somewhat clunky. They use a combination of default moves and just whatever the developer decided to throw in as their movesets. So not always the best thing. Whereas when you get a stance, which would go into this slot here, it alters how the sword or weapon in particular is used.
Orders has been counting stars,
And
operator.
it also gives you
All
more
accounted
mod
for.
capacity, which
If I may say, operator, your chosen Warframe suits
makes
you.
the melee weapons in particular much better. It's an easy way to get a good weapon very early on. Alright, well, let's just head into Iliad. There's some groups running it, so hopefully we'll get into one of them. Or at least, at the very least, get somebody to come along with us. Criminies. Well, we're going in, and we still don't have anybody with us, so there was an update to the user interface you might have seen. When we hit escape, there's some changes there. There's also some
We need to find the
changes
VIP and take them down.
to
Do not
the-
let the target escape.
what is it? To when you join a mission, the way that looks has changed a little bit. I killed that one guy real quick. Wish I could do that to most of them. He's referring to us as freaks. I'm not going to be afraid to talk over him because his corpus speak is
You're on
not
the
a
sensors now. You've been detected.
language that I know of. So I'm just gonna kind of talk over him. You can read the subtitles that are on the screen if you want to know what he's saying. I was still really hoping we'd get a team member of some sorts to come along with us, but I guess we're not gonna have the option for that. Never take elevators if you can. He's calling us a fashion victim. Considering he's literally wearing a trash can on his head, I'm pretty sure we're definitely not the fashion victims here. Where'd he run off to? So he goes invisible like that. Okay, he's down below us. There he is. shocking him will help. Decent shields, good amount. Doesn't really seem to. Come on. Tear him down. Yeah, the Bolter's doing okay against him. I didn't think the Bolter would do that good, but we're doing alright. We want to keep the pressure on because the shield will keep coming back if we don't. Alright. Dealt with. Oh boy. We really want to get out of here.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get
So,
out of here.
well, there is...
Heavy robotic signature detected. Lock and load.
There is an Ayatan star over here, and I would like to grab that. I'm not sure what broke it out, but we might as well pick it up. I believe I picked up a couple of those when I was running the mission that I stated previously. That one mission
Target down.
on
Assassination
Phobos,
contract complete.
it's the
Great
exterminate
work,
one.
Tenno.
I believe I got a couple of those, so if you see a disparity in the count of Ayatan stars, I think it was from that mission. Alright, so the Sergeant drops the mag parts. So if you did not pick mag when you first started the game, you can get mag here from the Sergeant on Iliad. So it's just a good heads up.
Ordis has received messages for the operator.
And
No,
the
I have not read them.
Stalker's coming after us again. So the previous messages are, there's the ghoul threat message, which I believe I played previously, and there's the information about the double credits weekend, and then there's just the message we got from the previous boss. Nothing super important. I'd say let's just jump back into it because we only have one more boss before we can unlock the Ceres Junction, which will allow us to get some really... will allow us to get Aurican cells, and Aurican cells are quite nice because that'll allow us to get some good weapons. Let's see, I think, is it Jupiter? No, it's Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is the first planet we'll run into nanospores. So that will be the first time where we're able to get nanospores, which will allow us to unlock and gather the materials needed for the Vectis, which is kind of funny because you can get the blueprint so early on, but it takes all the way till Saturn before you're actually able to get the parts to make it. But that's okay. Let's just head in. Oh wait, we've already done war. We did like Krill last time. Oh, I was getting confused. So we could actually just finish the episode by completing the Ceres Junction. Fantastic. That's we're ahead of schedule then. I was thinking we were falling kind of behind, but we might actually be far ahead. So the only thing we have left to do is to upgrade a relic so we can unlock the junction. So it's very simple to do that. We've opened relics in the past, which has given us void traces. You might have seen them in some of our ending screens. Effectively, you can select a relic, such as this one, for instance, or this one, or let's see. Let's get one that's not super important. Let's go with this guy. This guy's not super important. So you can upgrade him into an exceptional relic, a flawless relic, or a radiant relic. And you can see how many void traces it'll cost on the right there. And this is how many void traces we have. We have 67 currently, so I'm just going to upgrade it a little bit because I don't really care about making it super important and I don't really want to waste void traces. We're just trying to upgrade one so we can get that completed. So there we go. We've upgraded a void relic. That's how you do that. That's how you alter the chance of getting a drop. If, say for instance, we wanted this drop here, the AK Stiletto Prime blueprint, the best way to do it would be to upgrade it into a Radiant, because that would highly increase the chance. Those little tiny blue bars on the right side here indicate the chance of what will drop. Now, I've done a lot of Radiant relics in the time I've been playing Warframe, and I can say honestly that it's really is just a chance. You're not really gonna ever have a super good chance of getting something amazing, so don't upgrade relics thinking you're gonna get it right on your first try. You may get lucky, but most of the time you won't. Now that we've completed that, though, we can do the Ceres Junction. So let's do it. Let's jump in. We'll unlock the Fever Touch or the Fever Strike for melee, which is very good. Okay. Well, it's about time that we unlock this junction. Who are we fighting? So we're actually fighting the Trinity Spectre. You won't get Trinity till much, much later in the game. She's a healing Warframe. Trinity Prime was offered with Twitch Prime, and I think she might still be. I'm not positive on that, but Trinity's not super offensive, so I don't think we have too much to worry about here. But we're still going to treat her like every other Spectre. As dangerous as they come, because Spectres tend to be very dangerous overall. I think that was Trinity's Well of Life ability, which if she had hit me, she would have healed herself. I'm interested that it can go through our little shields here. That bow of hers kind of throws me off. I get the feeling that it would hurt a lot to get hit by. Let's see. We're doing a good amount of damage there. Oh, and she's blessed. Bless is one of Trinity's main abilities. We're just going to keep zapping her though. Probably would have been beneficial. I'm going to activate speed so I can increase my reload time, because we are getting lots and lots of energy from this. And we're losing life periodically, so we're going to need to step up the damage. We may actually fail this fight, because I don't know if we can do enough damage to really deal with her. And we don't have a good way to heal currently, aside from pancakes. I'd very much so like to get some procs rolling on her. You know what? Let's melee. At least a little bit. So she's knocking us back and around a little bit here. That's okay. Gonna have to kind of go all in here because we're losing this fight slowly but surely. Alright, that was a lot tougher than I was expecting. The Bless, I was not expecting her to use that. I think last time I was in here I just kind of shot her in the face and she died. So the Bless was definitely a tough one. She was an honorable opponent, I will say that much, so we'll give her a bow. All the other ones were kind of lame. So let's activate the Junction. We're making our way through the star chart. As time goes on, we'll finally unlock everything. Done and done. And there we go. So now we've got stance for a weapon there. Got Fever Strike. Got the Volcar blueprint. So we got Swirling Tiger, a stance for dual swords. Fever Strike. Get the Volcar blueprint, and that's about it. And we've also, of course, unlocked Ceres. So let's see, what do we need to unlock the Jupiter Junction? Okay, so we need to defeat Vor and Krill. Yes, so this is definitely an interesting planet. Survive 10 minutes or more at Draco on Ceres. We can definitely do that. Defeat a prosecutor on Ceres. We can do that as well. Easy objectives. We'll be able to unlock those and have some fun soon. I think we'll be able to get across Ceres pretty quickly. The way we want to go is we do have to go across Draco, but we also need extra. So we'll probably go the top route and kind of go across. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So Exta, there's a little bit of a spoiler there, has a dual boss that we've seen previously. We will fight Vor and Krill at the same time.
While I analyze the intelligence profiles of the grenade.
So
error, not a number.
there's some special parts to that fight, and I will kind of go over them as we fight them, and I may in the future farm them for some parts, because there's a specific thing that you can get from them which is kind of cool, and it might give us something that we might actually be able to work with finally. Let's see, for our heat sword.
If I may say, operator, your chosen Warframe suits you.
we do have enough to put on a Fever Strike. Fantastic. So now our sword has corrosive damage on it. So we've combined electricity and toxin to be corrosive, and corrosive is probably the best thing that we can have on our sword currently. Well, we are slash focused actually. So the two types of damage I would highly suggest on a melee weapon, since we now have them that I can show off, would be either corrosive, or you can go with a viral. Corrosive is fantastic for fighting the Grineer and any armored target, which in the end game of Warframe there's lots and lots of armored targets. So corrosive is always a fantastic choice. Another good choice though would be viral on weapons that are slash based, because viral reduces the overall health of an enemy, and slash, as I've stated in previous episodes, is true damage. It bypasses the armor, shields, everything to attack the health directly. So if you reduce the health and then attack it directly with slash, you can kill targets very, very fast. But I don't think this weapon has a lot of... It has a good amount of status chance, but we don't have a lot of mods to make real benefit of it currently. So I'm going to focus on corrosive just for the time being. I think that's the better choice in my eyes. That'll buff up our damage slightly though, which is good. Is there anything else we can do? Let's take a look. So I'm not going to worry about any of these nodes that we haven't completed. We do have to go across. I could do some more missions there, but I don't think we need to this time around. We have gotten enough time. Let's take a look and see what kind of weapons we can purchase. And actually, let me take a look at what Master Rank we're getting to. So we're at 3, we're almost at Master Rank 4, which is good. I think Master Rank 5 is when most of the best weapons in the game, or like some of the best early game weapons, unlock. Don't make me a liar here, game, but let's see. So 4, 5... Ceres is a fantastic weapon. It's a burst pistol. Tonkor is a good weapon. Let's see. The Rubico's kind of what I was thinking of going for early on. Getting your hands on the Rubico early on is very nice. It's a sniper rifle similar to the Vectis, and it does lots and lots of damage. Everything else is kind of far from what we're dealing with here. Alright, well, not a lot we can do about that. Let's check secondaries. We'll have to focus on the Vectis because I don't think we can really focus on anything else. Secondary wise, we can focus on not much. The Vasto's at 4, which is actually quite good. I was thinking of doing the AK Vasto at some point later in the game, but that's 8, so that's pretty far from us. 4, I guess we'll unlock the A Ceres, which is probably going to be one of the better weapons we can get at this current time. And we've already got the Galantine Prime, which is the weapon we're going to focus on. I'm not really going to focus on any other melee weapons. You could, if you choose. I just don't think that any of them are as good as the Galantine early on. Let's see, what might be a good one. So Typedo might be a good one. It's a very good pole arm that you can get your hands on early on, and later on you can upgrade it to become the Legion. But I think the only way to get the Typedo early on... Oh, no, you can just buy it with credits. So you have to get the bow first and the kunai, but once you have those and you make the Typedo, it's a pretty good weapon. The Tonbo, I think, is also a good weapon, but I've never really used it that much. I much prefer heavy blades because heavy blades have a mechanic which I will show off later on, which is pretty great. Oh, and the next rank, at rank 4, you can get the Guandao. And this is probably, I think, in my personal opinion, the best polearm that you can get. That's just not a made or crafted weapon from
a new
Zos.
alert has begun. It will be marked on navigation.
I personally think the best weapons in the game for melee are definitely Zos. That's no big surprise that it's been a major thing, just because you can customize them and every sort of stat can be made for yourself. But outside of that, the two weapons that I would probably take out if I just had to would either be the Guandao or the Galantine. those are the two that I definitely like that are just pure weapons. Some honorable mentions might be something like a Nakana. Nakana is just a basic one-handed sword that functions like a samurai sword, I suppose you could say. You draw it from its sheath every time you strike, and Nakana is just overall a very quick, very well balanced, very easy to use. But the heavy blades have a mechanic, which when we get our Galantine, I will hopefully be able to show off. For now, though, I think we'll end the episode there. I've given some recommendations for basic weapons that you could go for if you've already kind of gotten up in master ranks, which I'd imagine if you're watching the series, you've probably surpassed me by quite far. I'm just kind of piddling along because I'm only uploading these episodes every week. I'm only able to do so much. But we'll progress much quicker as we go through these planets and finally get upgraded. For now, though, goodbye.